Well, welcome to the Feel the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Perry. I have Ron Heinlein, the owner and CEO of DT Footwear. Today, we want to talk about the problem with wearing too tight of shoes and the fact that your feet actually get larger as you age.
Something I asked a lot of people, when's the last time you measured your foot? And I usually hear 10, 15, 20 years. I says, well, you don't own a Braddock, you don't own a Ritstick. That's why we did our sizing, and we started that with our medical company 30 some years ago and somewhere in there. And we had a ton of people using it and it worked out very well. It's very simple when you have too small a foot. Your foot's hurting. You're aching. You've got, after the day, you're in a vice, and that's what you're in. And let me give you an example. I've told this to people all the time on my phone. I used to wear a size 30 pant. Okay. I'm 76 years old. I'm not going to tell you what I'm wearing now, but it's sure not no 30 spot pant. Okay. I'm smart enough to know how to measure my foot and and I've been in the shoe business so many years. So I have a Braddock and I have a Ritstick. The only problem with a Braddock, that's the steel device. It only shows you 4E width. A Ritstick, that's the wooden slide device, that only shows you 2E width. That's the widest. And my gosh, everybody's getting wider. That's why we've created 9E, 10E, and 14E. Well, when I wore an 8.5, I wear a 10 now, is what I wear. What I'm telling is your feet take the only part of your body, your feet take every bit of your weight. Every bit of your weight. And it expands and it grows. And I have got people, I've been wearing a 10 for 30 years. Yeah, okay, that's great. Have you graduated? I had a lady the other day bought a gift for her dad, and it was a 9.5. And says, and when she got it, he couldn't get his toe into it. I says, when's the last time? And I asked the same questions that I'm asking right now. When's the last time you measured your foot and everything? Well, found out he's a size 11 in a 6E. And oh my gosh, was she embarrassed? Well, she just took her advice from her dad, who was probably 80 years old, somewhere in there, I'm guessing. And so what I'm saying is that, yeah, it's very common. But oh my God, if you're 60 years old and you're still wearing a size 8 and you think you're a size 8, men or women, and you're actually in a 9, 9.5. So that's why we tell people to measure them through the measuring device and make sure I take the length by inches, because no one can read a Braddock or Ritstick, but they can read a soft tape measure. And we know with our chart that we've been doing for over 40 years or maybe 35 years, going back to the medical business, how to determine the length from that point. But it's very simple. Squeezing you in a vice creates corns, can create calluses on the side, can create a bunion, can create a hammer toe, because you're in a vice. And would you like to be in a vice? I mean, an actual physical vice all day long?
Right.
Well,
right.
It's time to tell us what size you're wearing. And I got more people that order 9E widths and so on like that. Find out they're wider than that because of edema. Edema is another situation. And the more you squeeze it, the more the edema will expand from that point. So there's a lot of reasons for it. There's a fuller toe box in the shoes that we do. This happens to be a women's, and Orthofeet's a great, great tennis shoe that has a fuller toe box, a higher toe box, and has a stretch material that emulates right to the foot, and so on. So we have everything for you, but we've got to know the size. Without the size, it's almost impossible to determine. And like I said, I know I'm no size 30 pant anymore. And I know I'm no size 8.5 in a shoe, and I'm wise enough to change it because I have no bunions, no hammers, toes, no corns, no callus. I have very healthy feet for being a 76-year-old critter or a gentleman or whatever you want to call me. And that's what we want to do, is make sure you know your size. We'll help you with that. People are just astonished by saying, wow, I can actually measure myself at home. Yeah, you need somebody to help you. But yeah, let's go put your foot in a vice all day long. Oh my gosh. Ain't no way in heaven I'd want to go through that.
All right.
So that's the concept of having too small of a fit.
All right, that's good to know. For those of you that are interested in actually measuring your foot, if you go to the website DT Footwear, somewhere about 2/3 of the way down or so, you'll see a video with a tape measure. Right above that is a red box. If you click on that box, it will take you to a page that will, in detail, show you how to measure your feet at home using a soft tape measure. And as a bonus, there is a form that you can fill out. You just put in your width and length from that tape measure, and Ron will let you know. It sends an email straight to Ron, and he can actually follow up with you with different shoe styles that he might recommend if you are experiencing foot conditions such as bunions or hammer toes, and he is more than happy to help you out. If you'd like to talk to Ron personally, you can get in contact with him through the website, dtfootwear.com. He's available by phone, email, and text. Until the next podcast, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave those below.